crime wave in Gotham. Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
Coming up, more problems for a troubled
earthquake.
Yep,
We're having an earthquake.
Breaking into homes and tickling people.
Fans quickly trashed his pantsless look on social media.
Also, in other news,
The whistles go woo!
He was murdered and then set on fire while celebrating his birthday.
He's on the lean and the mouth.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
He thought the car was a spaceship and that the driver was an alien.
He lost his life savings, $2,600, and all he has to show for it is this stuffed banana with dreadlocks.
It's time for another news. The musical selection is for what this day, Tanny?
On this day in 1971, A Clockwork Orange was released in theaters. So this is like Clockwork Orange title sampling and stuff from the soundtrack. So that's what we got today.
Look at you go. Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange.
It's always a thing with our guy Tanny when you hear the in other news music change up a little bit.
That was me, Alex, and my 3 Drews.
Dan, going to the dentist as a kid was scary because those knives and surgical things that they got on the table, they really haven't changed since the medieval times, it seems.
Wait, like, you're getting dental work at medieval times?
They get a quarter-legged chicken and all that.
Just say. Come on.
I'm just saying.
Come for the show. Stay for the bridge work.
Those tools have
unclean,
not...
I say.
I hate you so much. Those things haven't changed since then. I hate you. I walked right into that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and to this texter who said he's taking his kid to the dentist tomorrow, cut it out. All right. Here's something about wisdom teeth removal and other routine dental procedures parents might not have worried about before. Potential opioids entering their child's system. Quote, dentists and oral surgeons are the number one prescribers of opioids for adolescents, the age group 10 to 19, teenagers really. Psychiatrist Andrew Kolodny, co-director of opioid policy research at Brandeis University Heller School for Social Policy and Management and executive director of Physicians for Responsible Opioid Prescribing, told the Daily Beast, quote, there are studies that show that children who are exposed to opioids prescribed after their wisdom teeth come out are much more likely to use opioids non-medically, basically recreationally, to abuse them later in life. That worry isn't idle panic. A 2015 University of Michigan survey showed young people exposed to opioids by the end of high school had an overall 33% increased risk of opioid misuse between the ages of 19 and 25. Quote, good kids, those teens categorized as at low risk of future drug use, were at a 300% greater risk. These are kids who actually reported disapproval of regular marijuana use, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Quote, strikingly, the risk was found to be most concentrated among teens who would be expected to be at low risk of drug misuse, those with no illicit drug experience, and those who reported that they disapproved of regular marijuana use. Among those with low predicted risk of future opioid use in 12th grade, having an opioid prescription increased their risk of post-high school opioid misuse threefold, according to the National Institute of Drug Abuse website. So, for everybody out there getting any work done on their little ones, make sure that you monitor. Of course, as a parent, you should make sure you're monitoring whatever is going into your kid's system. But, yeah, if your kid's getting Vicodin after some work or getting anything after some work. It
used to be like codeine.
Yeah, as a teenager, that rate is being jacked up for potential opioid misuse in the future.
You wouldn't think it would be all that troublesome to get a bunch of people together in Santa costumes, but Hoboken, New Jersey has an issue because the fate of the Hoboken SantaCon is up in the air after a weekend full of arrests, violence, and medical calls. Hoboken police say 17 people were arrested and 55 were sent to the hospital for severe intoxication last Saturday during the annual event SantaCon. Hoboken Police Chief Ken Ferrante says several bars marketed the event online, targeting customers in their 20s for an afternoon of drinking in Santa suits. And the partying stretched into the early hours of Sunday. Police received 289 calls for assistance during that time. Charges range from aggravated assault to disorderly conduct. One police officer was punched and another was spat on. The chief says the temperament of the people that were arrested, to see their violent streak when they were already arrested in headquarters, was just startling to see. Many of the worst incidents happened in the 200 block of Washington Street. Residents in the area told News 12 New Jersey. One mother says, "We knew we shouldn't hang out over there. It could be nice if we could walk here when we felt like it." This is SantaCon. This is people, these are holiday revelry in Santa suits, but apparently taking it a little too far. Hoboken, New Jersey.
Yeah, this is, Deezus and Mero actually covered this on their show because it's a bunch of
clowns.
It's a bunch of hey, how you doings running around in Santa outfits, and the police are just letting them run roughshod over the city, and they took their cameras out there to show people.
Hoboken get a Hoboken sometimes.
They got Santas out there urinating in the street, and it got real.
They canceled their annual St. Patrick's Day parade in 2012 after similar incidents with drunken pub crawls. But bar owners started the Hoboken Leprechaun event as a replacement despite the cancellation. So
now you're going to have...
They're going to get
a
theirs.
different breed of guy.
Else. They'll just call it ElfCon or something.
Right.
They'll
Just
change
call
it
it Get Drunkacon. How about that? I like that name. All right, Dan. You know attorneys? Skip. You know attorneys?
Nah, I don't know any.
Yeah, you do.
None. I don't know a single one.
It's in your blood. This is probably what an attorney shouldn't do.
What?
Clearwater, Florida, ladies and gentlemen. Deputies in Pinellas County say an attorney was caught with his pants down while planning to record himself having sex with an inmate as part of a project to make a video called, quote, "Girls in Jail." According to the sheriff's office, detectives received a tip last month that Andrew Spark was... All of a sudden, I feel like I should put a little emphasis on this story. Thank you there. Andrew Spark was paying female inmates for sexual acts at the Pinellas County Jail in Clearwater. They say Shauna Boselli, a 25-year-old inmate, claimed Spark visited her in jail, even though he is not her attorney. She says Spark offered to put money on her commissary account in exchange for sexual acts and bragged about meeting another inmate earlier that day. Boselli declined the alleged offer, but detectives later confirmed that Spark met privately with 28-year-old inmate Antoinette Napolitano that same day. After investigating, deputies say the two actually had sex inside the Pinellas County Jail at least 6 times between June 2017 and December 2017. Sheriff Bob Gaultier said Monday that Spark would begin his, quote, interview by filming Napolitano in her jail uniform and ask her to narrate sexual fantasies before filming her performing sexual acts. When they got word that Spark was scheduled to arrive at Pinellas County, well, of course, they had to meet, and detectives say they entered the attorney visitation room and caught him with Napolitano just as the two were about to begin a sexual act. Sparks was fully exposed when detectives entered the room, the sheriff noted. Sparks was
I may note.
Right. Sparks was charged with exposure of sexual organs, introduction/possession of contraband into a county detention facility, and soliciting for prostitution.
Wow.
Deputies say Sparks did not speak to detectives and requested his own attorney. Detectives say it is possible that Spark has engaged in the same activity with additional female inmates at the Pinellas County Jail and at other jails throughout the Tampa Bay area and Central Florida, and may face additional charges. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're an attorney, try not to film porns in the jailhouse. You're going to get caught.
This is from Vice Sports. The Knicks are a surprise 16-14, good enough for the 8th and final playoff spot in the East. Kristaps Porzingis is flourishing. It's crazy how much has changed over the course of a year. And Kyle O'Quinn has a starring role in the funniest and most fun Knicks story in a long time.
All right, Kyle O'Quinn, rotational big man, big dude too, big beard. He looks like a comic book character, actually.
According to an ESPN story, O'Quinn has become a must-see entertainer at local bar and bat mitzvahs. It all started when his agent, Andy Miller, invited him to his daughter's bat mitzvah over the offseason. O'Quinn didn't know what to expect, but when all was said and done, he said, "That was one of the best parties I've been to in my life." He soon started getting invited to more and more, but not as a guest, as the entertainment. He said, "The parties are crazy. I did 1, I did 2, And the next thing you know, I was just bar mitzvah man. He said, a lot of times I go and I stay longer than I'm supposed to because it's so much fun. The food's always good.
Finish.
He said he sometimes gets introduced by video or sometimes by an MC, and then it's just wall-to-wall partying with the Knicks big man right in the middle of it. He's cut back on appearances since the season started, but he plans on getting back into it should time permit during the year.
I've got questions. Why is he being invited back to these bar mitzvahs?
I don't know.
You don't hire someone because they're fun to be around. This has got a little bit of a mascot-y feel to it.
Well,
to me.
It's been done before. I want to say Darren Rovell had Jeff Bagwell at his bar mitzvah when he was just a prospect. And there's all sorts of fantastic pictures.
Yeah, but Jeff didn't go on a circuit of bar mitzvahs after that.
If somebody's got
to talk to Kyle about what he might be sacrificing here.
Hey, I guarantee you,
he's a 6'9" black man at a bar mitzvah with a huge beard, dancing around, and people are hiring him to do that.
It's all
just
hip-hop.
to be that guy.
It's all hip-hop.
I'm not
music.
saying anything about the music. Why are they? Like, I'd have to ask after they did it twice. Why do these people want me dancing around at their bar mitzvah?
Because you're on the Knicks.
That's not why. Tanny's laughing for the same reasons.
You think if he wasn't on the Knicks, they'd invite him anyway?
Why are they not asking Ron Baker?
Ooh, you don't want Ron Baker there.
Exactly. I mean, get your money, man. But this is bordering on weird that they keep inviting. It's like just a secret society of Jewish bar mitzvahs that keep.
Well, as opposed to the Muslim ones.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I must have missed out on those.
You haven't been to a Muslim bar mitzvah?
Right, so now we got Muslim bar mitzvahs and dental work being done at medieval times.
And getting you hooked on meth. All right, that's it.
That's another news brought to you by Office Depot, Office Max. You've had a big year. Wow, William Tell Overture?
Yeah.
So treat yourself to great deals on tech and furniture. Oh, this is the sex scene, isn't it? Isn't this the sped up porno scene?
Yeah.
I think it is, right? It's like they remove a bunch of frames. It's like this is over here, and he's on him, and she's on her.
Marv Levy's just screaming, I'm going to blow that back out.
What?
I'm going to blow that back out.
Forget it, Marv. It's all right. Great deals on tech and furniture at Office Depot, Office Max. You deserve it. Office Depot, Office Max, taking care of business.
I kind of agree with this 262 texter. The Jewish version of Get Out. That's exactly what...
I look forward to it.
What are you doing?
I haven't seen it yet. They're going to send me a copy for the screeners for SAG.
It's on demand. It's free right now.
I didn't like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
Okay, how we doing?
You don't like Kwanzaa either.
Brian Billick is next on The Score.